one won't factor. You have to do synthetic division, and hopefully you'll remember that synthetic division, you had the little box. Okay, how did you get the numbers you wrote out here? You took the numbers off the x's, so I have 1x cubed. I don't have an x squared, so x squared is 0. X to the first power is 1, and then I have negative 10. So I took the numbers off the fronts of these. 1. Okay. Now, your problem is, the only tricky part of this is you have to figure out what number to put in the box. Okay. You have to find a number that makes that thing equal 0. So it's got to equal 0. That's the key thing. Now, since it ends in a 10, it has to be numbers that are factors of 10.
1.
So you actually have to sit here and try subbing in a number going, if I put 1 in there, is 1 cubed plus 1 minus 10 can equal 0? Nah, that does not work. So Caleb thinks it's 2. Does 2 cubed plus 2 minus 10 work? Yes. Okay, so that's the number that goes in the box. It made it equal 0, so you put it in the box. Okay, now, do you remember how to do synthetic division? It's easy. You just have to remember how to start. You drop the first number down.
And you times it by the one in the box and you put it in
Yeah.
0.
You take that number times the box. What's 1 times 2? 2. And you put the answer in the next column. And you add. So 0 plus 2 is 2. Anything below the line, you times it by the box. So 2 times 2, I go put it over here, I get 4. Add down. That's 5. Times it by the box. 10. Add down, you must get 0. If you did this right, you have to get a 0. Okay, you just found factors. You don't know it yet. Okay, so if you recall, this is the answer. You start at 1 power less. If that's x cubed, that means this was 1x squared plus 2x plus 5. Okay, that's one factor. Your other factor comes from 2. If 2 was the answer, then the factor was x minus 2, because when you solve it, you get 2. Okay, now you're down to, can you solve those? Yes, so you just drop down to 2. Okay, so now you've broken it down into something you can solve. It's opposite sign. If this is minus, you put plus. It's always the opposite sign when you take it out of the box. But now you're down to something you can actually solve. Now this one won't factor, and the bell's going to ring. You would have to solve this one by quadratic formula, because it's not going to factor. Some of them will, some of them won't. Okay, now, here's the bad news. What if you get one like here, and it's still got 4 or 5 terms in it? Sometimes you have to do this process more than once in order to keep breaking it down. Okay, so you might have to, if you can't solve this piece, you might have to do this again on that piece.
Can you group that though?
If you can, yes. Some of these, if you can solve them by grouping, after this point, yes, you can solve by grouping. But there's a couple on that handout that will make you do it more than once.
There's a smart.
Okay. I know. I started my grade. It won't factor. There's not factors of 5 that'll make a 2. So you just do the quadratic formula. 2, yes. Yeah, I'll actually tell you, you're gonna get, actually it's gonna come out imaginary. You're gonna get negative 1 plus 2i when you do the quadratic formula on it. As the bell is, I will post another problem of this with more, where you have to do it twice,
Yeah.
so you can see one. If you have